Hello, so I know it's been a long time since I've done any tier-related videos, but I figured, you know what, I'm gonna do an Injustice video, as I'm uploading it later than I would have wished, so let's do something with it. So I thought, alright, let's do what I would, what I would perhaps use as Injustice 3. So let's go over the base premises first. So what I would have as the third installment is I would choose the Superman ending from the second game that you use as the base for the He-Man comic. I would also include He-Man in the guest roster, and there's a couple other things I'll talk about later along those types of lines when we get to characters and costumes and stuff like that. Anyway, so what I would do as the base storyline is Batman slowly gets like just a chunk and a slow amount of time as he realizes, and using that, he has some sort of device he built from back in the first game when he was contacting that Justice League. Well, we know he can contact other universes, so why not make it a full-on other universal game? And we can use the gear system to enhance this, although I would change the gear system to the Mortal Kombat 11 version versus the singular pieces stuff, because that got annoying fast, which is a huge reason why Injustice 2 dropped other than competitive play. I barely even play it unless I really need something that's a fighting game, and I've already recorded a lot of Mortal Kombat footage. But we go back to the storyline, we pluck another universe's Justice League because Batman is in trouble, and right now everyone is imprisoned. So he contacts the other universe, and there's some sort of warning beacon. And, you would have him not be sure because Batman really wouldn't have time to explain, obviously. But, they come to there, and then you have a fresh take for any new audiences. You have a fresh take on the universe through their eyes, kind of like we had Kara for the first. We had the other leaguers for the first game. Then we had Kara for the second. Now we can have another league. But Superman sees this, and he finally gets a hold of the technology because he has Batman's brainwaves, obviously. And he pulls in other Justice Leaguers that are on his side. So we have a multiversal war. But the exception is with villains. He wouldn't work with villains anymore, otherwise he wouldn't get the help of the other leaguers. That way we can drop all the villains from the game and have them have their own side stories. Maybe make an expansion and we can finally get some villain chapters, since I know NetherRealm would use that awful chapter system. The Fourth Snake does a lot of videos about this, in fact, heavily inspired by some stuff Fourth Snake does. So, let's make this one an Armageddon-style game. Bring everyone back. There are characters that I will explain why I didn't have in the main roster. One of them I just forgot to drag up, which is Black Adam. I would have him in the main campaign. But there are others that, very few of them, but there are others I couldn't figure out a natural way to throw them in. So why not just make them crypt unlockables? Honestly, there are characters who are dead, like Joker in the second game. Why not just make them unlockables and not mention them in the story at all? The only time Joker was ever brought back in the second game, and I hated that design, by the way, was in the Harley Quinn, Scarecrow scene, which felt really stupid. So, let's look over the ones that I am not including first. So, I don't even know that one. I know it is from the new, I'm pointing to the green guy. So, I mean, obviously it's in the not in section. Sorry about the, I can't zoom in hardly anymore. But there's that green guy. I know he's from the new Young Justice. So that's probably, this guy's probably, the person who made this tier list probably likes Young Justice. I have no clue who the character is, so I didn't include them for obvious reasons. Then we have Red Tornado. I just don't know what to do with him. He has a cool power set, I'll give him that. But I can't think of any reason to really include him that would have multiversal stuff. Beast Boy, you have the dynamic of still one of the Titans lost. You'd want at least some of them still dead so you can have the tragedy angle through Titans. Black I can't remember his name. But Aquaman's brother? No, we don't need him. We have Black Manta. I mean, yes, there should be a little bit of variety, but we're already bringing back everybody. So he's not been in the previous game. Don't bring him in. Don't bring him in. Etrigan, same with that way. We're already bringing. There's a couple new characters. I couldn't think of a way for him to fit in the multiverse angle. Yeah, he'd be kind of cool because I also brought in Constantine. But other than that, I couldn't see a really natural way. And Neo, yeah, there's a new Matrix coming out soon, so if it lined up. But that one's coming out at Christmas, and this game is nowhere near there. That's the only way I could see that lining up. But no, I don't see Neo. He's not all that great other than cross promotion purposes. Dr. Manhattan, I just feel he's way too powerful to include in this, and I did, Rorschach, which is one of them I have included in the guest fighters, I feel is a much better pick. Ra's al Ghul, same. There's just, he would, his kind of storyline is just a little too much. Then we have, I think that's Killer Frost. But we already have Killer Frost. It's weird. I don't know who that is exactly. I know it's from the Superman cartoon series. I think it was a Flash villain that Superman and Flash were fighting. Yeah, I'm not sure. And then that, I know, is one of the people from Crisis. I forget what the Monitor. I know it's a Monitor. But, yes, I would do a multiverse story, but I wouldn't do the Crisis story. So I wouldn't do Monitor. I wouldn't mess with him unless you're doing Crisis. That's the only time he's ever been good. Unless you want to just see here, see them sit around saying, "We should do something. Should we do something? We should do something." Yeah, I know this is a Linkara joke. Huge fan of the show. It's a great show. I don't know who that is. I think that might be Wonder Girl, but once again, she's just not familiar with me. And then that's a character from Dark Knight's Metal, and they don't have anything else relating to it, so he just felt out of place. And they also had Dark Knight Metal stuff in the other one. That is from Flash. I don't know who that is, because I dropped out of Flash really hard during the last couple of seasons. I know that one's the Death Wraith guy. Like, he's, like, embodiment of death. But I don't feel there's a huge need to add somebody like that. Cool power set. He could have a really cool power set, the final one, but I don't see any way to include him in the story, which is a huge reason, especially if we're doing in a final game style one like Armageddon. We don't want to include too many new characters. We wouldn't. I couldn't see NetherRealm pushing too many new characters if they were to do this style of game. So that is what my mindset is towards. Let's look at the different DLC packs. First, there is a Mortal Kombat pack which just has Scorpion, Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, Raiden, and Sub-Zero. You'd bring back the others just because they've been back for a while, and the Rain thing debunked the guest TLC couldn't return. And that was a myth pulled out of nowhere that a lot of people clung to. Even me, I will admit it, I did cling to it, but yeah, no. So Mortal Kombat pack, I would be up for it, but make it on its own. Don't add too many guest characters. The other packs I have, yeah, I know it seems odd with the pack I have. So Combat Pack 2, I would have Metallo. Metallo is really cool, and we need some more Superman villains, honestly. Adding more weaknesses towards Superman's side is really nice, even though his side is really short, and I'll show you that, but I'll explain why. It'd be a little more filled out in the storyline as we go. Then we have Huntress, because I just think a Huntress would be kind of cool. Another Arrow playing character with a little more female attitude would be kind of cool. Kind of like a combination between Black Canary and Arrow's playstyle would be awesome. And I know that is Speedy's wife. I know she has a lot to do with the Arrow characters, and I think it'd be nice to get a villain related to them. Even if Speedy wasn't in the game, I would add him. Honestly, I would. But in this tier list, I didn't have anything, and he'd go in the alternate costumes category. Then we have Spawn, because people want Spawn in Injustice, and I get that. And Hellboy, because in these packs they had were other guest characters. So if I were to really do this properly, I would have Hellboy being a return guest character. Each pack gets one returning guest character, unless you count TMNT in the other pack. But yeah, so the first pack is Hellboy and Spawn, one new, one old. And the second pack, actually, no, Spawn is the second pack, because you want a bigger reveal with Spawn. Then the first pack has Rorschach and TMNT. I also feel like Spawn and Hellboy go a lot more together, because they're more Hell-related. And Rorschach and Ninja Turtles are just the outliers, so they go into the pack together. And the second pack, you have Katana, and she's a brand new character. Then you have Enchantress and Lobo, which are not. So the first pack would be kind of like a bum rat. So it probably wouldn't give the game that much press. You could switch anything around. That's just the way I put it, because I felt like it'd be easier on the developers for the first pack, so they could pump something out fairly quick. Then we have Crypt Unlockables. Now these, other than Black Adam, would be characters that wouldn't appear in the story, but have appeared in previous games, so you should have them unlocked. Kind of like Armageddon has a lot of characters that have nothing to do with the story, although I know the story is completely different from the modern NetherRealm stuff. But yeah, so we have Bane, Brainiac, because Brainiac's over. There's no need to really push him forward. But, kind of like they did with Goro and Shao Kahn, you can have him in the game. In fact, Shao Kahn did play a big part in 11, but, he wasn't a big boss. So you could probably do something similar with Brainiac, but I wouldn't push for it. I'd just leave him as an unlockable character. Ares, we never really got much from him, and he felt really out of place. And we do need a Wonder Woman villain, but I think that's about the only reason he was there. And we also have Cheetah. And I think Cheetah had a lot better dynamics in the story. Killer Frost, a Flash villain, returning character. All these are returning, but returning character, just bring her back. Doomsday, I don't get why they added him. I mean, I get it in the first game, honestly, a little bit, but now he would feel out of place. I don't really see any reason to bring him in to the story at all. Swamp Thing, I don't know, I just don't think of anything that would involve him, considering he's so tied into the green and multiverse. I guess the multiverse could burn the green or something, but that would be fairly lame, I honestly think. Then we have, now that doesn't mean these couldn't be in the, that these are the character skins that are DLC only, not used in the game. So we have Kid Flash, we have the older Flash, we have Speedball, not Speedball, that's a Marvel character, Screwball, I don't know, he was very obscure, but he's from Young Justice, the comics, not the TV series, which is where I get confused, honestly. Then you have the two different evil Flash people, along with Reverse. I wouldn't exactly include, but since they had them on the list, I mean, I would, honestly, just for roster count purposes and character count purposes, I would include them as costumes, but not much other reasons. Then we have Jon Stewart, because, I mean, each of these games has had Jon Stewart at them. We have Guy Gardner. I don't care for Guy Gardner, but, it'd be nice to see some, him as a costume. Solomon Grundy, we have... Now, this is a very odd choice, but I thought it could work if you play your cards just right. Might make the character seem a little bland, but I wouldn't care all that much. So you'd make Solomon Grundy and King Kong. The hell am I saying? Grundy and why is my brain not working? Grodd. Grundy and Grodd be Bruiser characters, and they'd be tied to King Shark. who also would have Croc, but it'd all be one bruiser character. So you wouldn't pad the roster out with a bunch of bruisers, but you could switch the look and attitude of it so it feels like different characters at the very least with a coat of paint. Same with Deathstroke and Bloodshot and Deadshot. They're all gunplay characters. You could easily make a fairly standardized moveset that fits with all of them. And it's not like all of them haven't used a sword at least once, so you could work it in. Or do like what they did with Robin and have like a swapped weapon for each of the costumes. So like one of them uses a sniper, one of them uses a sword, one of them uses a stunner. I know there'd be a lot of work, but they did it for TMNT. Yeah, I know DLC characters get a lot more love. I don't really care. I'm going with like the best possible dream game, so yeah. Then we have Vixen, obviously another cheetah skin. Just return it from the last game because it was good DLC. I quite liked it. And Vixen doesn't really have much of a huge role, especially if Jon Stewart isn't in the game. I like the love triangle that they had in the Justice League cartoon, but that was about it. And I feel like that has no place. I think the romantic couple goes like Harley, Arrow, and Canary. You know, sort of Triforce, yeah, Zelda. But now we have Bizarro, who is just a Superman swap, and Mr. Freeze, who is just a Captain Cold swap, just like the last game. And Batman Beyond, obviously, just a Batman swap. They had that in the first one, but it was like a mobile unlockable. It was weird. I didn't like it, and I never got it, and that sort of annoyed me. Now we move on to the ones that are used in the story. We have Power Girl, because you could do the alternate universe stuff, and Power Girl's from another universe. We could do more Reverse Flash stuff, but he's another world's Reverse Flash. Maybe two Reverse Flashes team up. So you have like a little side plot going on there. Like I said, you could do a lot with the villains. Grid, I could see him just joining like Superman's side or Batman's side. Batman's side because he was forced away from like his master, so he has like Baraka syndrome, where he's like trying to find a new master sort of thing. Or just give him as a skin. I don't really care about Grid. He wasn't interesting at all to me, but there is stuff you could do with him. I'm not gonna lie. Croc, you could have him interact with King Shark in the story. Have like the two meathead sort of characters be like some comedy relief. Megan, you could have her, lamenting her father. As another universe version of John Jones comes, she teams up with like the Titans and stuff like that because build up the Titans again through other universe Titans, which would be kind of cool. I'd like to see that. And then we have I forget what her name is, but she's the cousin of Green Arrow. So you have her. She could want to be like Green Arrow and try to take down Superman for taking out her universe's Green Arrow, because we know that's not her Green Arrow. So it could be a revenge plot, but she's been training for the last couple of years because she knows she wasn't good enough. So that's why she's been in hiding. I would accept that. And then Deadshot would just be used as the base, Suicide Squad guy. You could swap out any of the gunplay characters, honestly, for that part. Waller wants to take down, like, Bruce or somebody for, multiverse stuff because they hacked into the government to get it or something. Sure, you could come up with some sort of side plot or just have him be in a prison for one scene and attack. It wouldn't be interesting, but he's fun to play as in the game, so... Then you have Hawkman, because, if you're doing a multiverse story, bring in some characters that are dead. Have them see, oh god, I'm dead in this universe. See how I died. Oh god, my friend killed me, that sort of thing. I would love to see that with Hawkman, because we never got anything about him. And it killed me. Because that was Hawkgirl's whole thing, and she left in the second game. Where was she? It killed me. I loved playing as her in the first one. And we got nothing about the Hawkman in this universe. So, seeing it through another universe Hawkman would be kind of cool. Then we have newcomers. We have Mirror Master because he can maybe see mirror dimensions or something like that. Maybe he uses himself as the portal because he has control of mirrors, and maybe like mirrors are some sort of gateway sort of thing. I've seen a lot of movies, so I wouldn't be hard pressed to see something like that come into play. Then we have Booster Gold to see like future context of how this changes everything, how everything has gone, like how Superman's defeat or Superman's winning changes the universe. So make him be a Raiden sort of character. I wouldn't totally be up for this, but I love Booster Gold, and it would be interesting to see how each battle and each decision affects everything. But I don't think they could do this quite properly because they didn't do it properly in Mortal Kombat. But I'd like to see. And then, you could have Peacemaker be the other Suicide Squad character. Maybe, Deadshot's coming after him because he's coming after Batman and Superman just for being chaotic. Keep peace by killing the ones who create the chaos, sort of thing. And then King Shark, the meathead and sort of thing. And then you have the mystical side. You could do the whole mystical spectrum of how reality's warping goes with Constantine and bring back Satana and all this sort of stuff. It'd be awesome. I would love to see Constantine do more stuff because we never got much with Dr. Fate. He was like, oh, these people don't allow me to do this. I'm not helping. Total low. I'm going away now. What? Do something. And then there's characters who are going on neither side, so we see kind of like the outside effects of everything through like little miniature battles. Scarecrow, we could have, do something like they did in Titans. Maybe he was one of the people to help Red Hood. Don't bring Rich in at all and have that sort of thing, because I actually like Titans. I've been doing reviews of it lately, and yeah, you could do that sort of thing. Speaking of that, I am doing Titans reviews fairly soon. Then you have Cat and Cold. You can continue the arc of Wonder Woman killed his sister, so he's out for revenge. We got a little bit of it resolved. Then you have Joker. Superman goes completely nuts when another Joker falls through the universe, because Joker's just chaotic, and he will do that. Follows in Batman, and, he stirs the pot. Kind of like we had the Joker clan, and you have Harley going, ooh, falling back, sort of thing. But her senses come in after Ollie and Dinah. Green Arrow, Quicksilver, Green Arrow, and them come and help her. I would love to see that. And then you have Cheetah, continuing on fighting Wonder Woman, just because she's Wonder Woman and she doesn't like her. She didn't even like the way she's turned. She liked her heroic side. Do a little bit of hero worship. It's okay. I don't care for it, but there is angles you can take it. It is fairly interesting if you get the right writer. Then you have Zod. Another universe Zod comes in because he thinks he can do even better than Superman. Or maybe he teams up with Superman because he sees he pulled down a regime. So he helps the Superman gain more power. I was thinking of maybe having, the evil Legionnaires come in at some point. But now I say the Zod thing, that actually sounds pretty good. Another universe's Zod comes and help, along with Bizarro, and you have whole Legion of Supermen. Oh god, you could do the Legion of Superman story, but they're all evil. That'd be awesome. Poison Ivy, because you have some stuff with with Harley you could do. She didn't do hardly anything in the second game, first game. She wasn't in the first. Well, she was in the background, but she didn't do anything in the second game. She felt like she had a little bit of stuff with Harley, but then that all went down the drain when they started fighting. I don't get it. There were slight mentions of it. Darkseid, you could plausibly have him try to help Batman because he sees a world of Superman going rogue. So you have some heavy hitters on Batman's side. Atrocitus, you could have him finally start to corrupt Green Lantern. So Green Lantern turns to no side. And Green Lantern, like, does a super power wipe and knocks down all the Supermen. I would love to see a game with tons of subplots going on, and they all converge. I love it when that happens, and it gives dynamics to characters that really aren't there in these games. I could write up a draft and a script and everything, honestly, if I really had the time. But for now, this is all just what I would honestly do with this handful of characters. Red Hood, you could have him see another Joker's been brought back, and he doesn't think that's good, so he's like the guy trying to stop that other Joker. But he doesn't agree with Superman's ethics, so he fights Superman, and Joker gets away, and he's all upset and all that sort of stuff. Adam, I just don't remember enough about him. He fell out of my head real bad. So he's on the medium because I don't know what to do with him because I wasn't sure of his allegiance. And then I know that Dr. Fate just couldn't do anything because Achman Ra or something. He was just there, but he was awesome to play as. So for Batman's side, you just have the other, you have these characters. I'll just go by them. And you can have little subplots, and then being from other universes, finding out what happened to them. Then Superman's side, you can see at the top too. And the last two over there in the corner are Robin and Black Manta. Black Manta is really hard to see. Sorry about that. That watermark kind of squishes Black Manta. But Superman's side was really... you could have something go super crazy when he gets another universe. And yes, Batman was on the top. If I do remember. Yeah, he was on top because of the ending. But overall, I think that's what I would do with Injustice 3. I know this has been a long video. Sorry about that. But I hope you have a great week. And thank you for watching this DC content, and check out the Injustice movie review and Titan stuff. I'm going to be trying to do it to celebrate DC fandom.